So welcome to the Earthling EDC channel. My name is Phil, and this is my EDC kit. It's small, it's compact, and contains a group of tools that I think are really good quality. And you'll find those tools mounted to one of these. This is a pocket rack. It's a small plastic card that you can 3D print for yourself, and you can also make these elastics. And the elastics hold the EDC tools in place on the card. So when you do that, you end up with something that looks quite similar to this. So this is my EDC kit. This is fully loaded out EDC kit. It has all my tools on it. Now, what we're going to talk about in this video, which I think is kind of interesting, is why I'm replacing one of my favorite tools with something else. I'm actually two sets of tools I'm replacing on here with something else. And these are tools that I've been using for over a year and a half, and I'm replacing them with something else that have been suggested by viewers. But I've gone and made the purchase and load them on the rack, and I'm liking the way these things are coming out. I think I'm going to share that with you as well. So I hope you'll stick around. See you in a bit. All right, so this is my personal neoprene pouch with the pocket rack inside. So my philosophy again on EDC is to be able to have the right tools in place to help me during the day, to help my family, to help friends or whoever. And if anybody needs help and I've got the tools, then I can probably help them out with that. So I want to make this packet as efficient as possible and keep it to the size of the pocket rack. By keeping it small like this, I'm more likely to keep it in my pocket, I have to keep it near me, to have it in my coat pocket, to have it in a backpack, to have it in a waist bag, whatever. As soon as you start getting into larger pouches, it becomes more cumbersome to go to your car to go and get those things and all the things you need. So if you keep it small and you make it efficient and it works for you, I think you're much, much better off. And that's the purpose of this build that we're doing right now, is this component right here. So I'm increasing the efficiency of this kit by bringing in this ratchet. And it has the ability also to take a bit in the handle, in the socket in the handle as well, a hex bit. So here's the old system. These are the tools that I'm replacing. So all of these were on this pocket rack before. I've taken them off of here, and in doing so, I freed up space for other tools and other items that I can use. So now I'm taking off the Steinway bit drivers, and as you can see, this is a really tight little package that they put together here. I've got an equivalent of 16 bits, so 8 on each side. One is actually on the little 711L bit holder right now, and take a look at the difference. So this is the standard size. These pocket racks here are the same size as this one, and you can see the amount of space difference is substantial between the two. So this, as you can see, the similarities in here, these are actually manufactured by the same company. They're distributed. This particular design was designed by 711L, but it's still manufactured by the same company that made the ones for O'Reilly Auto Parts, which is this one here, the Power Torque. I actually have a video on this if you want to take a look at it. It'll give you a lot of information about where to buy these, and I like this still. I love this thing still, but the difference in the trade-off now in space is substantial. Also, these are WeHa bits. WeHa bits will not work with the Power Torque bit driver on the back. I mean, I'm giving you the wrong bit. If you try to use one of these screw bits, you'll see they won't go in. They stop short of being able to engage with the hex itself, with the socket. They will work with the top part, but they will not work with the handle socket. In order to do that, you have to then drop in a bit extender, and this bit extender is a special size. It's kind of made for these kind of bits. It's made out of aluminum, so it's kind of getting stripped down, but you can see it does sit in there, but it's very, very loose. It's not really the best way to go, and it's gotten worse and worse over the past year and a half too, as I've torqued on this thing. So this is where the Steinway bits have the huge advantage over these WeHa bits. The WeHa bits are great if you're going to use them just with the ratcheting component of it, but as soon as you get down to using it just as a regular screwdriver, it starts to fall apart on you. So they're also heavier than the Steinway bits as well. So here's the Steinway bits, and they come in a package that looks just like this. I bought this one off of Amazon. It comes with a little cellulose handle that you can use for as a little driver. So you could hook this up to the extender that's here and just use that as a screwdriver if you want to. I am not going to use that. I'm just going to pretty much use the 711L ratcheting driver for this. So I'm going to take out this little Phillips head here. And that's one of the Steinwell bits. As you can see, they're substantially smaller. There's a size difference here. That's the Steinwell on the right-hand side. And on the other side is the Weehaw. It's about half the size. So it sits very, very deeply into the socket, which is a substantial difference between the two. So I can take this, pop it out of here, drop this on here like this, and I've got a little tiny screwdriver I can use with this. Drop in the Steinwell bit, and you're off and running. So yeah, the problem there is that it drops in so deeply that you in some cases you're going to have to use your pliers to. It's magnetically held in place, so you're going to have to use your pliers to pull it out of there. Come on, Phil, let's do this. There you go. And that's the bit. Flathead on one side and a Phillips on the other. That works really well. So I like this a lot. So I'm going to try this out for a while. I'm going to, later on in this video, I'm going to show you some, I'll probably do some little torque tests on it as well. But yeah, it works. It's a big difference here. So in doing so, I freed up a lot of space now because of getting rid of the old stuff. So in particular, the tin that I was using for the Weehaw bits, I replaced that with having this next tool, Mini Sailor, in place now. Mini Sailor is great. I love this because it's got an excellent pair of scissors, which I use frequently. It also has a 2D Phillips head on here and a regular flathead if you want. There's a nice blade on here too, so it's eliminated me from having to use the Swiss Army knife, the little Swiss Army knife I had on here. So it gives me a lot more functionality, replacing that tin with all of the Weehaw bits in it with the next tool, Mini Sailor. I've then gone to a Rovivon A5 instead of the Manker flashlight that I had before. It goes up to 700 lumens, and I found it works really well. If I really need a better flashlight, I can carry a bigger one with me, but this works fine for the purposes that I have this for right now. On the other side, I have my charging cable, which I keep with me, and this is where I also keep the Knipex back here as well. So that slides into place and sits on the back of the card like that. And then I've got this little storage tube, which I keep all kinds of things in. So I've got a magnet on the back of this thing, so I can actually use this drop down and grab things if I need to. But it's got super glue in here. There's a little zip tie in here. There's some wire in here. There's some glue, another like solid glue stick that you can use with the Bic lighter that I have heated up, and you can melt it onto things. So there's all kinds of this is pretty much just like a storage tin for all kinds of repair options. So I didn't have this before, now I do. I'm going to work on getting some more things in place for that, but I now have that because of the change that I've made with the bit driver. So we'll test it out, we'll see how it goes, but yeah, that's the direction I'm going in. We'll test it out for a while and see if it works for me. If it doesn't, then I'm probably going to go back to this. But the other nice thing now is I have another bit extender that I can use with the Weehaw bits as well. So you can use, as I mentioned, you can use these Weehaw bits now with the Steinwell bit extender. They fit in, which is great. So I've got another option for those. Anyway, that's what I have in place now. And on to the next segment. So what you're looking at here is a 1970s Craftsman torque wrench and the 2 bit drivers I'm going to be testing with it. So I've got the Power Torque from O'Reilly Auto Parts and the 711L with a bit extender on the end of it. So they're both relatively the same length, and the handles are. And we're going to take each of these and we're going to hook them up to the end here. This is the 711L. And here, I can see it this way. This is the 711L. This is the first one we're going to try. And I'm going to got it hooked up to the torque wrench. I have the reading here. It's we're going to go with foot-pounds and see what happens here. All right, so I got hooked up and pull. All right, one. So this time we're going to do the power torque bit driver from O'Reilly Auto Parts. And again, hooking it up to the torque wrench like that. I'm just going to yank on this sucker as hard as I can. And we'll take a look at the reading. And 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's pretty much killing my hand. Okay. Okay, so that was a fun little test, beside all the grunting, but it was surprising with the results for me. So I was a little bit surprised. This is the 711L. This is with the bit extender on the handle here. This one is a 9.7 millimeters in diameter. The handle is, so it's much wider and easier to pull on than the bit driver, the power torque from O'Reilly Auto Parts. So this one is a 6 millimeter diameter. When I was pulling on this thing, it was hurting. Now, that being said, it's going to be rare when you pull that kind of torque on something like this in a little tiny, EDC kit that you're carrying with you. So this is the extreme example between the two. I'm seeing this as having a huge advantage size-wise, as well as being comfortable if I really have to torque something out like that. And it didn't distort, it didn't break, it works fine. Both of them work fine, even after that test. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to test it out some more, see what happens. I'm going to use it in my EDC kit. It's a perfect fit. It gives me more room for other materials and things to carry. So this is the one I'm going to go with, and we'll see what happens. And I will report back to you as soon as I have more information on that. So if you enjoyed this video and like more information on the content you've seen here, all the tools and information about how to make a pocket rack is available in a PDF that's in the description for this video. So you just go to the description for this video, there's a link to the PDF, click on it, it'll download to whatever device you want to view it on. But it shows information on everything, where you can source the tools from, how to get the information on making one of these. And there are tons of videos on this channel if you're interested in more information about pocket racks and the tools that go on them. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today, and it was quite a bit. Again, if you would subscribe, that'd be fantastic. If you have a friend or somebody that you like that enjoys EDC, give them a link to this video. Thanks again for stopping by. Hope to see you again. Take care.